Hi everyone, my name's Chris and I'm with Dateline NBC, and this is To Catch a Hacker. In this segment, I'm going to show you guys some footage from a ranked match that I had the other day. I'm going to leave it up to you guys, the community, to determine whether this person was hacking or not. This user, whose name is going to be blacked out to avoid a witch hunt, performed some very questionable aiming that I would like the community's opinion on. Unfortunately, due to the nature of Siege, only a small amount of footage was able to be gathered. Since we are only able to see what our teammates see after we die, there was only so much footage I could gather. Now we're going to move on to the evidence. We have 3 clips that happened back to back in the first round of the match. The questionable player is Valkyrie and we are defending the meeting hall at the front of the plane. There are only a total of 3 players, Valkyrie, Andy who was playing Bandit, and the final opponent, Ash. Now let's watch the clip to see what happened.
Where the fuck was that from?
We'll play that clip back in slow motion. As you can see in the replay, Valkyrie does some very questionable aiming as well as very questionable movements. First, when she's pushing the door, she's facing west. And then just in the matter of 6 frames, which is the equivalent of 0.1 seconds, she does a full 90-degree turn to face north side. Now obviously quick flicks happen all the time. That part itself is not necessarily suspicious, but the weird part is how Valkyrie flicks so quickly to somewhere that has absolutely no relevance to her. After the flick, she's aiming up towards the roof of the doorway at the front of the plane. If for whatever reason Valkyrie believed that Ash was at that doorway, then she would have pre-aimed knowing where to shoot. Instead, she strafes left while looking up towards the roof, which makes absolutely no sense. And then while doing so, it flicks to Andy's head and headshots him immediately. Now there's the very real possibility that this player could be playing with white outlines disabled. I know I played with them disabled in the past and I accidentally killed people many times. But in a practical sense, Valkyrie had really no reason to be scared here. At the beginning of the clip, we could see that Valkyrie was shooting above the mirror with her deagle. That means she would have been able to see Bandit through the mirror and know that he was there. After Bandit got the kill on IQ and Ash was the last one left, there really was no reason for him to think that that would be Ash pushing through the doorway. So unless for whatever reason Valkyrie just absolutely panicked and had no idea what was happening and then just shoot at the first person that they saw, there really was no reason for them to kill Bandit. Throughout the rest of the round, Valkyrie really didn't do much besides hold the one hallway angle and throw C4 inside the room. The C4 part is actually pretty important because it does give Valkyrie some credibility. If Valkyrie were using a hack that would allow them to see through walls, they would have known when Ash was pushing in and where they were. This is where we can confirm that Valkyrie was at least not using a wall hack. And as you can see here, Valkyrie prepped the C4 at the top of the doorway. So if they had wall hacks, they would have known when Ash pushed in and set off the C4 right before. That way they would have guaranteed the kill and wouldn't have missed. So using this evidence of the C4 trap failing and comboing with the fact that Valkyrie killed Bandit, we can confirm that Valkyrie was not using wall hacks at least. Because if they were using wall hacks, they would have known that Bandit was a friendly and non-enemy and they wouldn't have shot them. Now keep in mind, wall hacks are not the only hacks in the game. There are many other types of hacks and I'm going to show you some very suspicious aiming in this next part. With this shot, it's very hard to judge. On the overall, I want to give Valkyrie the benefit of the doubt because upon further analysis, you can see Ash's laser sight as she's hiding behind the chair. In the match, it was very hard to see Ash's laser itself, but I think Valkyrie did just react to the fire and then see that there was a laser sight looking right at her. So it's very hard to determine if this was just luck or if it was an actual genuine reaction. You can also see if we slow it down that Valkyrie shot a few bullets, but only one of them actually would have made contact to where Ash was. And of course it was the first bullet and of course it was a headshot. So this is where it's a bit finicky. Only one bullet actually made contact and made it past that wall, and it was an immediate kill. So this part's more up for you to determine if you think that's suspicious or not. For me, it was very hard to judge. But what Valkyrie does post-win is what really drives the point home for me to suspect that this is hacking. It can kind of be hard to see what I'm talking about, but I'm going to play it again to see if you guys notice it the second time. So if you didn't notice, Valkyrie has some very suspicious flicking when shooting the batteries in the celebration. She runs into the room and just shoots at the wall, then decides to shoot at one bandit battery and immediately flicks to the other bandit battery and destroys it. The flick is borderline inhuman. It takes less than 5 frames for Valkyrie to flick over to the other battery and keeps her aim consistently on that exact point. And unfortunately that wraps up for the hard evidence that we have against Valkyrie. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the nature of Siege does not really allow me to record their screen unless I'm dead. Whenever I did die, I tried to record them, but usually at the point that I would die, most of the other team was already dead because Valkyrie would kill them immediately. The best evidence I have is that in a lot of the other rounds where that player gets kills, Most of them are headshots. The only last piece of footage I have to show you guys is what happens when I asked the enemy team if they had witnessed anything suspicious throughout the match. Unfortunately, I got no responses from the enemy team, but I did get a response from someone on my team. I can only assume that this person was friends with the person we think might be hacking because of how defensive they were. The friend in this situation thought we were talking about them and the C4 kill that they'd gotten the previous round. Once I explained the situation, they seemed a lot more clear on what was happening and then immediately reacted with this.
Yo, can you just shut the hell up, dude?
Dude, yeah, what's this guy talking about?
So in the overall, a pretty aggressive reaction when I wasn't even talking about that player. The person I was accusing did come out and ask what I was talking about and claimed to be a pro player. They claimed that their username was temporarily changed and they actually went under a different name. So I decided to do some investigating and I've actually found the stats of that player. What I found on the stats page was not too out of the ordinary except for one thing. On the overall, the player stats for a quote-unquote pro player are fairly standard. They have a win-loss of 1.47 and a KD of 1.42. However, the one stat that really drew my attention was how many headshots this person had. With a total of 19,475 kills, the player had 12,083 headshots. This comes out to roughly a 62% headshot rate, meaning 62% of all kills were because of a headshot. Now I decided to see how standard this was across pro players. One pro player I decided to compare against was Canadian from Continuum. As far as I'm aware, he does not use any Smurfs accounts, so all of his experience is on his one account. So a pro player on the team that currently holds the title as world champions has more kills but much less headshots. He has a total of 20,461 kills and a total of 11,311 headshots. This averages out to about 55% headshot rate. So I decided to compare it to a few other people. I looked up NVK, one of the other players in Continuum. He surprisingly did have a higher headshot rate. He had a total of 25,953 kills and 16,807 headshots. This averaged out to almost 65% headshot rate. I decided to go with someone with even more experience in the game. I did want to add in a few other pro players, but unfortunately most of them were under level 200. On the overall, this isn't a huge issue, but since they're under level 200, their stats will be a lot more skewed. The more time you have spent in the game, the less your stats will sway. So for the last comparison, I decided to do King George. He has a total of 22,976 kills, and a total of 10,936 headshots. This comes out to a headshot rate of almost 48%. Before we get into comparing the stats, I do want to say, I looked up this player's organization, and overall they are not doing that well. The best they've ever placed in a tournament is 10th place, and that's for a Go 4. Now the reason why that's important is because when we actually compare the stats for headshot rates, this player has a headshot rate better than two of the best players in the Pro League right now, and is almost at the same level as NVK, one of the top players in the Pro League as well. So personally for me, it doesn't make much sense. So how's a player who's clearly this amazing at the game, and also I want to add in, had about half the experience as the rest of these pro players in terms of level and XP? How's a player that good on a team so bad? I understand that in the Pro League it's not just about being good and a team will automatically pick you up, but it just baffles me that a player that is apparently this amazing at the game wouldn't have been noticed by a better organization. But obviously what is logical is not always what happens. Siege is a team-based game, and I know that. Just because one person's really good does not mean that they will necessarily fit on a team. So yes, it is possible that this person could be amazing at the game and better than any of the pros, but he's just not good in a team sense. I want you guys to draw your own conclusions from this. Even though I have given a lot of my own personal opinions, try not to take what I say into effect. Try to draw your own opinions from the videos and determine whether you think this person is hacking or not. I'm interested to see what you guys think, so let me know in the comments down below what your final decision was. And also, if you don't mind, why you think so. I know people are very quick to call hacks in this game, especially because hacking was very prevalent not too long ago, but I'm hoping you guys keep an analytical mind about this and not just a plain, oh, he's hacking policy. But that's going to conclude our analysis for today. Let me know what you guys think about the video and if you'd want to see more of this in the future. Keep in mind that hackers are very hard to come by these days, so it might be a very scarce series. And lastly, before I go, I do just want to reiterate, I'm not trying to cause any drama or any issues or any witch hunting. I've always tried to keep an open mind about people and try not to accuse them of hacking, but I know a lot of other people like to point fingers as quickly as they can. So I figured I'd just put this out there for the community and see what we come up with. But anyways, that's enough of my rambling. I'm gonna go, guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.